This is Algebra 1, Lesson 6-3, Graphs of a System of Inequalities. Today's date is January 7th, 2021. Make sure that your camera is on unless you've texted me, messaged me in the chat, somehow told me that you have internet problems. Otherwise, you're certain to lose points. Our objective today is to do what? Diego, go for it.
Properly shade a graph of a system of inequalities.
So there it is. It's basically the same as our last lesson, 6-2. Last lesson, I wanted you to properly shade a graph of just one inequality. Now it's a system of inequalities. So I'm just adding another inequality in there and seeing if you can still shade it correctly. So just making sure that we have the right forms. If it's in the slope intercept form, as I was talking about yesterday, this form right here, y equals mx plus b. So that's called slope intercept form. Then these symbols will always have the, is it going to be the top or the bottom shaded? And I might have given it away just by the length of those underlines. Are you going to be shading up, down? Or are you going to be shading the top, the bottom? What part are you going to be shading with these two symbols with a quiet raised hand? Let's give it to Ripley.
For the top one, it's top, and for the bottom one, it's bottom.
It is indeed, yeah. So the top is going to be shaded for greater than or equal to, and for less than equal to, those are going to be, as Ripley said, bottom. If you don't like those words, maybe you like up and down, or maybe even you like arrows. You like this up shaded, you like the down shaded. And we remember the difference between a dashed line and a dotted line, hopefully, and let's review that with example 1. I think, yeah, just example 1, example 2, and then we're done. So I'll leave that on the screen for people that are still copying down. Example number 1, we have two inequalities. We have y is greater than or equal to 3/2 x minus 2. And the second inequality is y is less than negative 1/2 x plus 2. And those are graphed over here. So we don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to graph those, even though you should know how to do that. We will eventually be doing that just from nothing. So you will have to remember eventually. For now, easy baby steps. So various points are graphed for the system. We need to finish graphing. So, and this is kind of up to you guys. Which equation do you want to start with which group of lines? Maybe you want to say, I want to start with those. Is that going to be a solid line? Is it going to be a dashed line? You have to figure out, does this inequality go with that one or does it go with that one? I don't know. So any first steps, leading thoughts? What are we doing here? Yeah, Zeke?
So you can see right away that the line that starts, the top, the highest point is at 4, 4. That line is the top equation because its y-intercept is -2, just like on the thing is -2. So from there you can tell that the other would be the bottom equation.
Yeah, that's a great way of identifying it, just looking at their y-intercepts. So the y-intercept in slope-intercept form was the b, and then -2, y-intercept, +2 is y-intercept. I have a +2 and a -2. Yeah, that's perfect, Zeke. Good analysis. Okay, so Zeke has told us that this line that has the y-intercept of +2 is the second equation. Should this inequality, should that be a dashed or a solid line? Another quick raised hand. This inequality right here, which matches to this, it's going to be a line at first. Is it a dashed line or is it a solid line? Well, maybe I'll just circle it for now. Those two match each other. Whoa. Is this dashed or is this solid? I'm going to call on someone aside from Zeke. Yeah, Diego?
It's dotted.
Yes. Why?
Because it's not going to be greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. It's just going to be less than.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no equal to. So it has to be dashed. All right. So we can make that on our notes. And then the next question that I have, because we are in that slope intercept form, I can just look at this symbol, oops, this symbol right here, and we should be able to say, is that shading up or is that shading down? And everyone's going to vote on this one. Make sure your cameras are on, or you can use the chat too. And I can see you there. Is this going to be shaded up or is it going to be shaded down? Everyone vote. Somehow tell me. Guess. When I have a y is less than, is that going to be shaded up or down? And the majority has it. It is down. So let's go ahead and shade down here. Why is this being silly? Okay, so we're going to shade down. And then the way that you want to do this for your notes is lightly shade down, because we don't know, is it going to be this area or this area? Because we have another line here that we have to worry about too. So kind of lightly shade down from that dashed line. Okay, but we also have another inequality to worry about. We haven't dealt with our first inequality. We haven't dealt with this line right here. So these two inequalities match each other. So again, I'll ask the question, should this be a dashed line or should it be a solid line? Another quiet raised hand. Someone aside from Diego who did it last time. Yeah, Alden.
It will be a solid line.
Solid line, perfect. So let's go ahead and make that a solid line. Shwink. And then everyone's going to vote on this one. Does this symbol right here mean shade up or does it mean shade down? Vote now. Shade up or down? What does that symbol mean? Only 3 people have told me, 4 people have told me. Okay, there it is, up. So I'm going to shade up. And again, you can kind of lightly do that and you can see, oh, well, the actual answer is where these two shaded regions overlap. So make sure in your notes that you have a very dark section for this part right here. This one section right here, and I don't want to make that line because there should be a dashed line for the top part and then a solid line for the bottom, but that should be the darkest region because that is the true answer to this system. It has to be not in any 4 of these parts, that one of those 4 parts, this left-hand piece, not this piece, not this piece, not this piece, only this left-hand piece. That's the answer to both of these inequalities. And we're done. Let's try it again. Are there any questions on example 1 before I move on to example number 2? Okay, example number 2. 2 different inequalities. And it's the same thing. We have to figure out which one matches with which. And I'm going to use Zeke's method. I'm going to call it Zeke's method from here on out. I'm going to look at the y-intercepts. I look at the y-intercept, oh, -2, -2. I look at the y-intercept of 1, and I see 1. Okay, so that's how you can distinguish between the lines. So let's do our first inequality first. I have the -2. This inequality matches with this series of points. And you've done this before now. I probably should have not even done that much. I want you guys right now to make solid line or dash line for this one, shade up or down, and then do the next inequality. I want you to do this entire problem by yourselves. All right. Who can help me work through this problem? I'm going to do one person does one line shading up or above. Second person does a second line shading up or above, or up or down, I should say. Someone that hasn't participated today, please. I want to get more people in here. Yeah, Giorgio. No, you're still muted for some reason. Are you? Ah, yeah, it's just on Zoom.
Okay, so the top line is going to be the y is greater than or equal to 1/3. Like the one, I don't know how to explain it, but
This top line right here.
yeah, that's the bottom one. The y is less
Oh, so
than.
this line right here. Okay.
Yeah. Is the top inequality.
Okay.
And that's a solid line.
Solid line. Okay. And shade up or above, or shade up or down.
shade above.
Shade above. All right. So I'm going to go above that line. Thank you. And pausing to see if people raise their hands to disagree. Looks like they're all good. Then the second line. This line right here. Is it solid or dashed? Up or down? Who's got it? Okay, I see Diego's hands raised. I see Zeke's hand raised. I want to see if there's a new person I can call on. Oh, Ashley, yes.
It's a solid line shading up.
Solid line shading up. So shade up like this. Okay. Oh, I do see some hands. Yeah, Zeke, what's up?
I got a different answer, but I could also be wrong. I got also, mostly based off of the last one, I got that line would be a dotted line and you would shade down.
Oh, so the reverse of each of them. Okay, well,
So,
I'll tell you this. One of you is correct. And one of you is
Like-
incorrect.
Yeah, the orange line, I got that it was dotted and then shaded underneath.
Okay, well, someone else help me out. I need a tiebreaker. Who's right? Is it Zeke or is it Ashley? Braden, sorry, not Braden. Diego, what's going on?
I think it's dotted line.
Oh, okay, why?
Because the y is greater than or equal to. Oh wait.
Symbol.
wait.
So
Yeah.
we already did this one. So we're trying to graph this one right now. This is the one that has the y-intercept of 1, this y-intercept of 1 right here.
Well, yeah.
So
it's
this
okay.
symbol.
Yeah, it is dotted.
Okay, yeah, and I agree. It should be a dash line for this inequality. There is no equal to sign. That should be a dash line. Dash, 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 dash. Line through here. Again, the y-intercept of 1, it goes through 1. Looks good so far. And then everyone vote right now. Again, is that shading up or down? See Ripley's voting, Diego's voting, Alden's voting. Yes, it is down. Less than means down. So I'm going to go down like this. And then we see our zone that we should be shading in super dark. And I'll come over here and make sure this is super dark. This region right here is the true answer. Cool, and then we're done. So let's zoom out on the notes. Give me a fist of 5 on our objective. How can you properly shade a graph of a system of inequalities? I see a 5, a 4, a 4, a 5, a 4. Okay, cool. Those are some pretty high scores, and that means you should be able to do the homework pretty well then too. That concludes our notes.